Welcome back to another episode of Laugh Through It All. I'm your host, Tracy, and today I am joined by Lisa Capoccia-Leone. She is an IFBB Pro, CEO, owner, operator of Revolution Training and Boxing, Elevate Pilates, and Wellness CPT. Join us as we talk about the importance of movement, strength training, and nutrition over 40. We want to talk about exercise, nutrition, everything that people of our lovely age needs to know because as you know, I used to be, many years ago I was very much into lifting weights
For
and
sure.
everything. But I think, as the years have gone and I've let it be in the background, I've kind of lost my way. I, like many people, use the excuse of I have zero time to go to
Zero time.
the gym, which I know is probably the number one thing that people say. But most times it's not even that I don't have time, it's just absolutely exhausted when I get home. And I have started walking every day, and
Yeah,
I do that as soon as I get home, and especially now that it gets dark so early.
sure.
So I am doing that, but I need to know, is that enough for, just to remind everybody, I'm 51 and the majority of my listeners are between 40 and 60 years old.
Okay.
So, pretty much all in the same probably
For sure.
ability range here. So just give me the down low here.
Well, you know what? I will say this. As we get older, time is limited, our
Mhm.
energy is limited, and we just don't have the mobility. We start hurting. Let's be real. Yeah, I mean,
Everywhere.
I'm waking up and with aches and pains, and I lift and train every day. But I can't stress the importance of just movement. All right. So walking is great. If I tell people all the time, if you do one thing, walk. It is the cheapest, most effective form of cardiovascular activity that
Okay.
you can do. Doesn't necessarily have to be strong, like long mileage, but get your steps in. It's so
Okay.
important. It's simple. I know it's hard to get into your schedule because you're like, it's cold, it's this or that, but you have to prioritize just the way you prioritize other things in your life. Your health and being on this earth should be a priority, you know?
And I'm actually loving walking in the
Mhm,
cold. It's I bundle up a little bit. I wear long
mhm.
johns
I
under
love it.
just a regular pair of sweatpants and a regular sweatshirt and a coat.
Mhm.
And I have like a like the headband warmers to go
Yeah,
over my ears. Sometimes I'll put a hat on top of that, depending on how cold it is. But I put my earbuds in, and
yeah,
I actually don't it's nice. That fresh cold air it
I
hits
love it.
different. I
I
know it
do
sounds
it.
weird, but it hits differently.
It's not the only thing that concerns me when I walk outside is the ice. The cold
100%.
doesn't bother me. My thing is like if I hit ice, we're done.
Yes.
But the cold doesn't bother me. I try to get out myself too. It's good mentally, it's good
Agree.
physically. It clears your head. It allows you just to kind of be at peace with yourself while you're doing that. So I can't stress that enough. As for weight training, that I mean, all those things are beneficial as we age due to
Mhm.
the fact that we start losing bone density as women, also as men. And the more we can do in the little amounts of time that we have is huge. So it's just a matter of making it a priority. That's
Right.
pretty much it.
I mean, I know just for me in the summertime when I walk, and it's so, and again, I can't even explain it. You get yourself in a different mental state. I think clearer, I can solve the world's problems when I'm out there, and I don't think of anything else.
No,
You
no,
know, even maybe if you're toying around, you got some issue that you're trying to deal with. I have clarity when I do that. So
absolutely.
it's becoming very important part of my routine. And I don't walk long. I walk like 40 minutes. So however long I can walk, one way and then turn around and come home. And it's about, and if I get faster and I
Yeah,
just I add
it's
a
not a
little further.
race. It's
Right.
not a race, Tracy. And it's funny that the majority of people don't walk, which is
No,
why it's become this like big thing. Well, we recommend you getting so many steps. You recommend me getting steps. Isn't that normal? Isn't that what people do? Now that it's become the bar of what fitness activity is.
sure.
So It's just a matter of walking. Maybe park a little further when you walk. Maybe, take the stairs if you're able to. Um, take those extra steps that you can. I don't know if you're a fan of a Fitbit that tracks that stuff, but there's so many apps now that allow you to track your steps to where there are insurance companies giving you money back if you meet these steps.
No kidding.
Yeah. There are healthcare plans through companies that, like, if you set it up with their app and you reach a certain amount of steps, they will reimburse you at the end of the year for your steps.
So 10,000 steps, is that like, I know
That's
that's
about the
the
norm. You want to
goal.
aim for 10,000 steps a day,
That is
and it's
what you want
very
to do.
hard for some people with their, they have to sit all day. I totally get it. I train a lot of people who sit all day and they're like, I gotta move. I gotta move.
Mhm.
It's hard, but maybe, take a walk around your office complex. Maybe at your lunch break. I know, if you get a break at lunch, go for that walk. A lot of people tend to do that too. You'll see
Mhm.
people on their lunch breaks walking, through GM or wherever they may be. They're Beaumont. People are trying to get out there and get the movement going.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as a teacher, I mean, I'm a little mixture of sitting
Sure.
and standing or running. It depends on the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but I do feel, and I think it's a mental game where if you are doing something physical, you tend to want to eat better.
Yes. Yes. It all trickles down. Everything plays hand in hand. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, diet, eating better is 80% of everything you do in terms of weight loss, weight gain, whether you're a competitive athlete or whether you're just, you want to be healthy. Your diet is 80%. People think that, like, well, how do I get like that? How do I get like that? I don't care how much you work out. If your diet's not right,
Mm-hmm.
nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. I have competed nationally on a pro level, local level 30 times, and there are times where I've been injured and I've had to do nothing. But if the diet's on point, you're still going to be ready.
Right.
Most women and men don't think think they're eating enough, but you're not. So the lack of nutrition that people are getting is huge.
Yeah, because the older I heard, the older you get, and maybe you can explain why this is. The older you get, the less protein people get, and the more it is important. So I
Right.
don't think I heard that until just recently.
Oh yeah.
Is how little protein we're getting.
Yes, it's so true. I mean, if you ask somebody, "What'd you eat today?" Well, I had a yogurt and I got 20 grams, or and then I had a chicken breast and I got another 20, and then I had a little dinner, or they didn't even get all that. I mean, that's huge. To say that you got three good meals in a day for most people
Yeah.
is very difficult, especially when you're working, you're on the go, you're running with the kids. As you get to our age, it's like you eat something, you go. We're busy. And as we get older, you're finding that I guess I would say our responsibilities are supposed to lessen, but I feel like they're like, what? Whoa, why am I doing this at this age? Isn't this supposed to get better? Um, so it becomes like, I'm going to eat this and then I'll go 6, 7 hours and you don't eat anything.
Yes.
And then you're starving and you're like, now I want to eat everything in my house.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's back to like the fitness if you make it a priority, meal prepping, those type of things. But the protein is so huge; it keeps you fuller longer.
So what would be
Um,
the protein that that we would, is it, I mean, are we talking different than any, like, say if I wanted to feed Michael more protein and things like that for his sports, 'cause
right.
for him what's important, and for like our age group, the protein that's important. Is there a
You
difference?
want
I
to
hate to
aim for anywhere between a half a gram to 1 gram per pound of body weight that you are or want to be, or what is your goal. So if you're looking to build muscle, if you're looking to maintain, or if you're losing, or if you're looking to lose, it's all a matter of what's in and what's out. So I know Michael as an athlete and a young man who's probably just burning through stuff. He needs way more than
Yeah,
someone like you or someone like Lainey, so especially on his training days.
right.
So, if a single 4 ounce chicken breast has like 20 grams, that's a good portion for someone like you at lunch.
Gotcha.
A steak is going to have a little more. Your eggs, two eggs is going to have that amount of protein along with your fat and your omega threes. The Oikos yogurt has 20 grams. So there's good options out there. Just the problem is nobody's eating enough of it.
So then what do you think of protein drinks, or things like that to add in. I used to do those Premier proteins, and now
Mhm.
I hear they're terrible. So I
I
don't
have
know.
never, I don't do them. I don't, only because, I'd rather eat my food and
Right.
but if you're in a pinch and that's the only way you're going to get it, I would use it as a supplementary protein in addition to what you're already having through the day. I wouldn't live on them and I wouldn't make it like all your food for that day's
Sure.
caloric intake or protein intake.
Protein powder in a drink or things
Yeah,
like that would be the best.
for sure. For sure. If making your own.
Right.
Yeah. And you also have to watch, there's so many out there now. You have like vegan, whey, no way, isolate it, so you basically have to go on what works with best for you because you get a lot of bloating, you get a lot of gas. So you got to kind of play and not, you have vegans too, or they, want a plant-based protein or, so you just got to play around. I personally like to make my own if I had to, but if I'm on the go, it is what it is. You're going to get it somewhere. I
Sure.
don't care how you get it. Just get it in, kind of like your workouts.
Now, carbohydrates. I know my body it does so much better on a low carb.
Of course.
I mean, the difference that my body feels, but the thing is, I know it makes me feel better, but of course, you kind of let it go sometimes. Um, it,
Carbs get a bad rap. Carbs do get a bad
Yes, and I
rap.
know there's carbs, but so when I try to do the low carb just for specifically my joints feel better. I feel
Yeah,
more motivated when I don't eat so many carbs. Sh uh, in your opinion, I know this is, opinion based on your opinion and your expertise, I guess I should say in your field, could I still eat a good carbohydrate but still be considered low carb?
absolutely. I didn't eat carbs for 25 years.
Oh
I've been
God.
on every end of the spectrum to where
Sure.
I've been like underweight, overweight, pregnant, no carb, low carb, Atkins, gluten free, sugar free, fat free, Edamons. I don't even know. Okay. And,
Yes.
you
And did
know,
you say Edamance?
Edamons, all of it. Been there, done that. So, I remember the fear of eating a carb for the first time because I felt like this was something I could control. So if I don't eat these things, I'm good. I'd rather just eat all the steak and chicken that I want and I'll be great. But
Right.
what happens is you can't build any muscle. And you also, women start getting soft. They're like, I got this skin. I'm thin, but I got this skin. Then you become skinny soft.
Oh,
So the carbs are going to keep you full, but there are so many good carbs. I mean, you have your white, gray, jasmine rice, your brown rice, your sweet potatoes. You just have to pick the right ones. It's the sugar that'll get you. Nobody got out of shape by eating chicken and rice. Nobody got out of shape by eating steak and potatoes. It was the exterior stuff that hurt everybody. But of
oh,
course, you're going to feel better when you deplete that glycemic index to give you that little bit more industry, but it's not sustainable.
oh. Yeah, that's very eye-opening for me because thinking back to when I was doing the bodybuilding stuff, I would eat all that stuff and I was healthy as could be.
Healthy. And you were probably solid, hard,
Yes.
lean, all of it. So it was like, whoa. And you were still eating every 2 to 3 hours. You were
Yes.
getting, this, your chicken, everything was boom, boom, boom. That's your body. That's what it needed. And that's what it needed to fuel. You had a pre workout meal, you had a post workout meal. And it always involved some sort of carbohydrate and
Yes.
always some sort of fat, some sort of protein. Everything was there.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right. So they're
So,
important. You just got to choose the right ones. It's the sugars that are going to kill you. It's,
okay, so the extra the
the fun stuff.
okay, so if so say again, I like to just have myself as a comparison for
Sure.
everybody else because I'm right in the middle of the road here. Um, so if I was to make sure my protein was good, I could eat the good carbs. So you say
Absolutely.
rice, beans, like a black bean or no?
You know what? I'm not a fan of them, but they're
Okay.
not bad for you. Yes, you could do a black bean. You could do a
Okay.
black bean for sure.
And then you said like a sweet potato,
Sweet potato,
and then a good fat could be,
a EVO, extra virgin olive oil, but maybe like
yep.
2 tablespoons,
Okay.
avocado, your
Yep.
whole eggs.
Yep.
Everybody tries to stay away from the whole eggs, but we need them for our brain function.
Okay.
And as women, it's good for our skin as we
Yeah.
age, and for men too. I mean, you need that. Also, what else could you have? Salmon.
Mhm.
Your good fats. So there's good fats, there's good carbs. It's just a matter of you know, getting them in and doing a little research and having being knowledgeable of it.
So the sweet stuff, is that just considered the candies and chips and thing and
Yes,
cookies,
yes,
or
and
is
yes.
it
But there is a lot of sugar in certain vegetables and certain fruits, higher glycemic index than others. We don't have to get into all of that,
no, but like the
but
berries and things like
yes,
that
your
are all
berries
the
are
ones
going to
that
be
are low.
good,
Yeah,
those type of things. And,
right,
just like even in your dairy products, you got
right.
your lactose. And, so there's good choices. You just got to stay
Okay.
away from if people shop the outside of their grocery store,
Yeah,
you're in good hands. It's the middle aisles that are going to kill you.
gotcha. Gotcha. Okay, so to piggyback off of that, and then I want to move to a little bit of the more exercise type things. What supplements, in your opinion, do you think that people our age should be taking? I, for one, take absolutely zero vitamins.
Vitamin D,
Okay.
a fish oil, a
Ugh,
glu-
does that like, because I know like that garlic, when people take like a garlic one, you
yeah. You
reek of
start
garlic
reaping
all
through
the
your
time.
pores. You're like, what is
Yes.
that?
Yes, please get away from me. You smell like garlic. And I don't know why I would guess fish oil was, but is fish oil make you
You
stinky?
know what they have now? They have these mini caplets. They're like burplets, all minis, and they're
Yes.
tiny. Those are the ones I take. And
Okay.
no one's ever said, "Hey, man, you smell like fish." I've gotten garlic, but I've never gotten fish.
You're like, something smells fishy.
I
You know,
know.
no one wants
I got
that,
a little
Lisa.
garlic,
No
but I
one
ain't never
wants
gotten
that.
the fish.
Okay, so vitamin D, you said?
Magnesium,
Magnesium,
hmm
fish oil.
glucosamine for your joints. But if there
Okay.
were I mean, I would really just focus on the magnesium, the vitamin D, and the added extra fat fish oil if you can. Those would be my big three
Okay.
for me
Okay.
personally, and for any, as we age, those things.
What about like a prebiotic or probiotic?
Probiotic, big fan, big
Okay.
fan. They make a lot of like fiberlize. I know there's one that I've seen, not to like promote anything, but
Yeah.
I've seen that's the only one. I mean, I've used something like that. Metamucil. Those are good just to keep the digestive system because not everybody's getting all their fiber. Guaranteed, if you're not getting your protein,
Mhm.
those same people are the ones not getting their fiber either.
Okay.
So, I've got people that I haven't gone in days. I haven't done this. I'm like, well, give me a little info. How much water are you drinking?
Yes.
How much green leafy vegetable are you taking in? Do you do asparagus? Do you do spinach? Are you eating your fiber? Where is your fiber coming from? You are what you eat. So, and everything comes from the inside out. So, if you're not getting those adequate nutrition, like I was saying, nothing else is going to
Right.
matter.
So
Like the
even you don't
water.
have to worry
I
about
would love everybody in the world to drink 64 ounces of water a day. You
I'm
see all these people walking around with these big jugs. Like, I'm
a
like,
I'm a terrible water drinker.
yeah,
I'm not a drinker of anything. You know, like I have this of like Crystal Light and this will last me for forever. I'm not I don't know what it is. And the water's got to be ice cold for me to drink
yeah,
it.
okay.
Um
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big advocate of it.
I
When
know.
people are like, I'm not losing weight, up your water. I can't sleep. I got headaches. Did you get some water? And you're probably dehydrated.
Yes, I know.
Your urine's a big indication of how dehydrated you are.
Mhm.
I mean, I'd like to aim for a nice shade of yellow. Water, I mean, because like I said, if you're not, the majority of people, if they're not getting the protein, they're sure is not worried about the fiber.
Right.
So a probiotic will help with digestive issues as well.
Okay.
Help move kind of things along. Yes.
Okay. I said prebiotic. Is that a thing? Or did I
Prebiotic, probiotic, pre,
yeah,
the
did
pre
I just
before the
make that up?
pro.
I said pre
Sure.
and pro. I'm like,
Pro,
one of
pre,
those.
a probiotic.
So what do you just to kind of like a little segue back, what do you think differs like for people, let's just say 50 and over, from the younger groups as far
Where do
as
I start? No.
yeah, I mean, if we're just thinking of exercise alone, what would be a key thing that someone over 50 should concentrate on as opposed to people in their
You know,
on
I
good
think,
point.
owning a gym, and we see so many people throughout the week, all ages, all sizes, all that. And I see when you're in your 20s, what, you're a male, you want to put on size, you want to be buff, you want to be this. Your ego goes into place with lifting heavy because how do I look?
Right.
Girls, how do I get a butt? I want a booty. I want, So the goal becomes different
Okay.
in the aging. And with anything in life, you have a goal. What is your goal? And that's
Yeah,
the
that
first
makes
thing we would ask them. What's your goal? So as we get older, the goal is I want to build muscle mass for my bones. This is why I want to be able to make it up the stairs,
right.
drop something and not hurt when I get it. I want to pick up my grandkids, right?
Yeah.
I don't want my hands to hurt because, we're going to get arthritis. I got it. It happens.
Oh,
Shoulders ache.
shoot.
And it's just part of the aging process. So the goal for us becomes I want to make this a lifestyle. I
Mm,
want the longevity of life. Yeah, I want to be able to walk when I go to Florida. I don't want to be pushed, and I don't want to, you may not want to run a marathon. That's fine. But I
right.
want to be able to get up without hurting myself all the time and, yeah, be able to walk at night in the cold if you want to.
Right.
So the goal becomes different as we age, and everybody's goals are different. I'm
Different.
sure we had different goals when we were 20 years old too.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Maybe not. I think we always kind of wanted to be a little off.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, well, maybe not me and you,
Yes,
but we're talking about everyday people.
everyday people.
Yes, I wanted big muscles.
I just want to be jacked.
We should actually talk about that. Me and you, we went to school together, so we've known each other for
A long, long
very long time, middle school. So I think we talked
11,
about
maybe
this.
11 years old.
Yeah,
What,
that's
sixth grade? Sixth grade starts at what, 11?
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And probably the longest person I've known that I still speak to,
That is so amazing.
right?
Yes.
So if I'm going to be 52 in June, I know
Yep.
you're March, so you're
March.
coming
Yep.
up, right?
Yep.
So come on, man, 11.
That's
That's 40 years, Trace,
I know.
right? How
No.
many people can say they've known somebody 40 years and still talk to them? I couldn't.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And doing this, I've kind of come back to being close with people that I was friends with then. Um, so it's been really nice because
Yeah.
I'm finding that the people that I can count on and the people who have my back or who are there to support me the
Yeah.
most
Oh, yeah.
are people that I've known since I was young. And I
Isn't it the truth
feel
though?
great.
It's like
Yes.
when you think, I even look at with my own children. My oldest is 25. And I think about like who her best friends are. She's actually maid of honor in the summer with the girl that she met when she was 5.
Yep.
Through 3 moves, through colleges, through this and that. You always go back to your people.
Yes.
And I don't know what that is. Growing up, you think, well, who are these people? What a bunch of whack. But I can remember birthday parties at your house
Yeah.
in the basement, right? And at the end of the day, I think we were all just really normal people just trying to find our way like anybody else at that
Mhm.
age. And
Mhm.
I feel very blessed and to be able to have these relationships with people that there's a handful of them, but
Yeah.
you just, it's like with that, your people.
Yeah, I mean, and this is just a side note, but you have always been such a cheerleader for me and supportive of me in every stage of my life that I could not see you or talk to you for 5 years and run into you. And I mean, I remember I used to run into you at Macy's.
Yeah, Macy's, the
Oh,
nail salon,
yeah,
all kinds
yes.
of weird places. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
and every time you're always been so incredibly nice and genuine to me. So, as a side note, I just need to thank you for that because that is
Oh,
something,
thank you.
you
As
know.
you as well. Like I said, there are your people in the world. There are your people, and there are not so many people. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
as
Yes.
you age, you start weeding the non-people out, and your circle becomes smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
okay.
Yeah. And I think of that now with watching Lainey,
Yeah.
have friends and things like that. And I'm thinking, Lainey, you may not have your core group yet, but it's coming. And those are kids that once you find your people, those people are going to be around forever. And
Forever.
and again, even if you don't see each other for so many years, and then all of a sudden you somehow your lives come back to each other.
Yeah.
It's really so wonderful and heartwarming, really.
Yeah. It really
And
is.
I mean, I know I am very thankful for you in my life. So
Thank you, Tracy. You as well. Yeah, it's funny because you think about the times growing up, right? And your mom would go, I don't know about her. I don't
right.
know about her, right? You're like, she's great. Yeah, right. And like, yeah, really. Now I find that I did that now that my girls aren't teenagers anymore. You start like watching them as they come through the door, like, I got your number.
Yes.
Here today, gone tomorrow. It's been nice.
Yes. Yes.
Find your people, children.
Right, right, right. Yes, and you find your own way, and, we also talked about our love for working out started, in high school,
Yeah.
which I I'm gonna say for girls at that time, women, I don't think that's the norm for girls to fall in love with weightlifting. We had weightlifting class in high school, so
Yeah.
that is absolutely where my love for working out started,
Yeah.
and, I then saw the results and how strong. I mean, I was always very strong, and
Strong. Yeah.
so,
You are.
you know,
Great calves. You had great calves,
I
Tracy.
got I had the biggest calves. I still remember thinking, "God, why can't I have these skinny calves?" And then, and the guys of the football, they were bigger than the guys on the
Great
football
calves.
team. And then you realize after you get out of high school how sexy those calves are, that you
Mhm.
want those calf
Yeah.
muscles. But but yeah, that's where both of our love of weightlifting worked out, and started. And then I joined the powerhouse. You said you joined the powerhouse too? Powerhouse gym?
I'm old. We're up.
Or
I
you're Vic
started at Vic
Tanny.
Tanny.
Yes. God, I
Vic
love that.
Tanny, right? Vic Tanny, and then the powerhouse was actually in the same parking lot. This was we had
Yes.
moved, and
Yes.
so I was at the Shelby Town, Sterling Heights one,
Mhm.
and the powerhouse. So I crossed the street, and some guy goes, "You're going to come into powerhouse and work in there." And I'm like, "Okay." Never look back,
Yeah.
and it was always part of my life. And I don't know if that's just who I am, but speaking of fitness at a young age, if you touch back, keeping your children active and
Mhm.
moving, you're setting an example
For
for
sure.
your children, for your grandchildren, and those things of always being active. I don't know those that probably remember me or don't. I was a chunky child, so, but my mother was always pushing movement and go outside, ride your bike, go outside, go play outside, join a sport, play basketball, always moving,
Mhm.
and it's part of you. So I'm used to always being moving. And so it
Right.
doesn't matter if your kid's a little chunky or you were a little chunky. You just just move, you know.
Right. And then with John, obviously John still to this day works out
Sure.
every day. Um and I think Michael has got the working out gene,
Mhm.
of course he's got the sports, and
Sure.
they do have that, but I feel that he um is such a good mix of our bodies too, by the
Yes.
way.
Yes. He's got good genetics. Yes,
Yes.
he's been
So,
here. He's been to to my gym, and
yes.
yeah, he's got good genetics, and he's an athlete.
Yeah.
It's just in his DNA. I feel the same with my son too. I mean, it's just they're at it's
Mhm.
bred in them, and that's
Yeah,
okay. But it also breeds a different level of them as a person. The
sure.
discipline, the confidence, the structure, the routine. That's why John works out every day. Same
Mhm.
reason I do. It's part of the routine. So it's just already natural for us to say we're going to do it. If we don't do it, it's going to drive us nuts because it has to
Right.
get done. And that's when I try to say about making things a priority, whether it's your walking or your eating. If you make those things a priority, eventually they become a lifestyle. And it's the lifestyle that's going to give you the results that you need in order to live that longevity, long life that we all want.
Stretching too.
Huge,
I've come to realize how incredibly important stretching is at my ripe old age.
right?
I mean, I am my hip flexors and things like that are
Everything, right?
so incredibly tight,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking, God, if I could just so if I okay, so walked, stretched, I know are going to be really good, but I also know that strength training is a huge component,
Huge, huge,
right?
huge. Yes.
And so if people can't get to the gym, what are some small things they can do for strength training at home?
Okay. I always tell people if if you had to invest in one thing, always have a nice set of little dumbbells up to 5, 10, just something. I don't care if you use 2 gallon water jugs. I've done it. I've called DoorDash for 2 gallons of water just so I could do things in a hotel. Um, you have a chair. Everybody's got a chair.
Mhm.
There's a lot of, tricep dip exercises, push-ups, things that you can do just to stay mobile, the stretching to give mobility into the arms and into the shoulders and the knees. So, a good band, just a band with a
Okay.
resistance band. I mean, these things don't take up space. They don't cost much, so there are things that you can have at home to help you do these activities. Um,
And
'Cause a
just
lot
try
of,
to hit like every body part, like
yeah,
try to do a couple
I mean,
routines,
you've got,
glutes for
you got your
bicep.
push, you got your
Yep.
pulls, and
Okay.
yeah, you know,
Okay.
I mean, in this day and age, if you can't find something
Right.
on
Yeah.
on Google, I mean, you Google full body workout with resistance bands, there's pages with pictures,
Right. Right.
So again, it's just a matter of making it a part of your life. And
Right.
it's not that it has to be done every day. Maybe set a goal for yourself 2 days a week. 2 days a week, I'm going to do strength training and I'm going to walk 2 days a week. And my weekends are off. I mean, that doesn't even add up because that only adds up to four. But,
Right.
you know,
But that is enough. I mean, truly, that's enough.
yeah, again, you are working toward the goal.
Okay.
All right. So I would aim for everybody to do 20 minutes up to 5 times a week,
Okay. Of both.
starting out of walking, strength training,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
And again, if you're not, it doesn't have to be intensified,
Sure.
but you want that mobility and that movement and you want to build muscle, women, because we lose estrogen, we lose all that, so we don't have that bone density that we had when we were 19, 20.
Mhm.
So between everything's correlated, the diet, the training, all of that helps to form this great physique internally and externally, and it also helps with your mental health too, because how can you not you just said you feel better when you're
Right.
eating right. We
Yes.
feel better when we are, got a little pep in our step and we are making a commitment and we're improving ourselves. I got to the gym 4 times this week. That you can't help but feel better. I've
Mhm.
never had one person leave and go, man, why did I work out today? What a waste of my time. Never, never.
Right. Right.
Most of them come in and go, oh my God, I don't want to do this today.
Correct.
And not
Yeah.
every workout or walk you be is going to have to be 100%.
Mhm.
Just show up. Usually the things that are the hardest are the most rewarding.
So true. Thank you for joining me. As always, do better, expect better, and be better. Find a way to laugh through it all. And as always, check out my Shopify. If you'd like to contact Lisa, her information will be in the description, but she can be found at Revolution Training and Boxing, 6785 23 Mile Road in Shelby Township.